Russell's Sports Talk. Once again, sitting in for Dan, here is Dave Sheldon.
Welcome back to Sports Talk here on a Monday evening. I'm Dave Sheldon. Dan Russell is away. Joining me on the line right now as we move and shift to golf focus, and a lot of great local golf, a lot of national golf being played, and a lot of the guys that are having success right now are coming through the Vancouver Golf Tour. And joining me right now is the commissioner of the Vancouver Golf Tour, Fraser Mulholland. How you doing tonight, Fraser?
Excellent, Dave. How you doing, sir?
Good, thank you. Tell me you got a little bit of sleep last night.
More than the couple of nights before, that's for sure, yeah.
Okay, Chilliwack Open has been in business for over 50 years, and arguably, and in the releases that Brian Ewart, who did a great job out there hosting, by the way, along with everyone else that was out there, they felt, and you felt, this is probably the deepest field that this tournament has ever seen.
Yeah. As far in the history, certainly since we've been a part of it, and me maybe as a player as well, I can't recollect any event that I've been a part of with Chilliwack that has had a stronger field in its place. Having marquee players like Bryn Parry in the field, and then all of a sudden getting Adam Hadwin from the web.com, just a few days before the tournament started, just incredible. You had Kyle Jordan, who is a national champion, and Doug Morgan, who's won the PGA BC Championship a couple times. James Harper, who's won that event a number of times as well. Brad Clapp, who has been playing really well the last couple of years. Yeah, it was a very strong field, and we knew it was going to be a good one.
How did Adam Hadwin come about getting this tournament? I mean, he was on the web.com, had a great result the week before. How did you guys manage to get him in the tournament?
Well, I shot a tweet out, and that is social media. It goes out to anyone that follows me, and I shot that out just to say, coming up, let's come and follow, come and watch the Chilliwack Open. It's going to be a great show. The super, fun beer garden up on the 15th tee, and over 220 players in the field, and within I think 5 minutes, Adam just shot me a quick tweet back. Is there room to play? And would you know it, I was putting the kids to bed and bathing them and stuff, so I didn't see his tweet till probably an hour later, and I was like, I better get back to him. So I tweeted right back, and I said, I better check with the organizing committee before we get too far ahead in case they had a big wait list lined up. And they did have a few guys waiting, but they managed to get those guys in the field first, and then Adam was able to get in the field, and I let him know that there was a spot. He was very excited to get in.
No, it's great having local golfers come back to support the local tournaments as well, because he's from Abbotsford, so right down the street in Chilliwack, and the course was in phenomenal condition. It really was.
Yeah, no question about it. Dwayne Grossart has done just a fantastic job of taking that golf course from where it was in the spring, or even in the winter. They had some disease come up on some of the greens, and a month away from our spring event there, the guys in the shop there were so worried that they were never going to be able to get them back, and he did an amazing job of taking them from where they were to being just absolutely perfect. Fairways were just pure, and the greens were nice and fast and pure as well.
Well, it's great that you say that, because I'm an avid golfer. Our listeners know that. You know that. I would never have known that there was a disease on any of those greens. Those greens were in pristine shape. On top of that, true, they ran. I play with members both days, and the members said that the course or the greens ran truer this past weekend than they had in the past. Just some great work. You would never have known that there was going to be trouble with those greens.
No, exactly. And, just hats off to he and his staff for, working around the clock the last 2 or 3 months. And obviously before that in the spring too, to get them healthy again first and be patient with that. And then, because they've had some big events, they had the BC ladies there, I think, earlier this year too. So they've had some big events here this year, and they're very proud of that. They're proud of, being able to host championship events there at their course. And as you said, Brian Ewart and Jared Rempel and the pro shop and their whole team there, they're very proud of the golf course, and there's good reason for that too. They've done a great job of it.
Fraser Mulholland, my guest. We're talking about some local golf, and we'll talk about Nick Taylor shortly, Fraser. But at the same time, I do want to continue with Chilliwack, because what people forget is that it's still a playable course that you can go play from a public point of view. And when you look at the scorecard, you say, well, the tips is 6,355 yards. It can't be that big of a test. Boy, anyone that misinterprets that as being a weak golf course had better get their head examined. There are some challenging holes out there. There are some scoring holes out there. There's no question about it. But I mean, the number 8 par 3 hole is 223 yards from the back, and there was at least a 2 or 3 club headwind there on Sunday. It was a handful on that hole and many others.
Yeah, the golf course is about getting some scoring done on the first 6 or 7 holes. There are some relatively short par 5s that can be reached by the competitors, especially the pros. A short par 4 on number 2 that some of the pros can drive as well. So they really want to get off to a good start there. And, then you get into a very long par 3 on number 8, very tough hole there, and a short 3 on 9. And then again, you get 2 more tough par 3s on the back 9 on 12, and again on 14, especially when, and we were talking about this, when the wind gets up in the afternoon and the greens are getting a little bit firmer, that golf course becomes quite a lot trickier. And, you were mentioning that the scores were quite a lot higher in the afternoon than they were in the morning. Some really low numbers on Saturday's rounds for the pros with 63 by Parry and 64 by Luke Bogdan and Brad Clapp, both local guys. And that's the whole history of that golf tournament is get the good scores done if you get an early tee time on Saturday, and then obviously if you play well, you're going to be playing in the afternoon, so you're going to have to fight the wind, fight the firmer greens, and the only guy really to shoot low in the afternoon on Sunday was Adam Hadwin. He shot 5 under.
Yeah, and he had to come back in that tournament, and it was a lot of fun. I was able to participate as an amateur in that event. We'll talk about me later. I'm not too worried about that at this point. I want to talk about the fact that Hadwin came in. He was in the running. He was top 10 after the first day. Everyone was anticipating he was going to make a run. You and I were chatting at the green, at the practice green before my second round on Sunday morning, and you made the point of saying to me, you know what, Bryn had a great round. He tied the competitive course record with a 63. Yeah. But you said, do not count out Adam Hadwin. I don't care what the conditions are. There's a reason why he's playing, by.com. There's a reason why he's having success. He'll find a way back into this thing. And, that's a statement because there are a lot of, and for those of you who will want to marginalize these professional golfers, you look at these guys and they're putting these scores up, and then you realize what's above them and what they have to fight into. It's such a dog-eat-dog out there. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Thinking about how many top caliber pros we have in Vancouver and BC, you just take that and that happens in every single city. And, and there's only so many they're going to get through to the next stage and, make it onto the Canadian Tour and the next stage, the web.com, and then it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller as you get to the PGA Tour. So, the odds are up against a lot of these guys to actually get there to the PGA Tour, but, the good thing is they're getting opportunities, and tournaments like the Chilliwack Open are providing them a stage for them to test their skills and build confidence, learn how to, play against a guy like Adam Hadwin or a guy like Bryn Parry who have been there, done that, in big tournaments and have great experiences, and they can feed off that and take it to the next tournament they play locally on our tournament or our tour and above and beyond to any Q school they might go to and try and advance their game.
Fraser Mulholland is my guest. We'll take a break, come back. More sports talk coming up right here on the Chorus Radio Network. Fraser Mulholland, my guest here. We're talking VGT. We're talking about the Chilliwack Open. I do want to continue talking about this. We made the point on this station and other stations around the Lower Mainland, and also I know Global had it with Double J, about the fact this tournament was coming up. How many people took advantage of watching this free golf? I mean, I'm not going to ask you to give me exact numbers, but on Sunday, you had 12 guys that were probably in the running for it going to the final day, and you had them in groups of 4, so it wasn't like you had to go run around the golf course. You followed the last 3 groups. How many people do you think followed the last 3 groups on Sunday?
I'd say 200 to 300 people on the golf course at that one point. It was great, and if the tournament might have been a little bit closer to the city, with Adam in the field, it's probably closer to 500, 600 people, and it's great to see, the local community come out and, by the time they got to 15, as the marquee groups came through, there's at least 200 people on those bleachers and enjoying the beer garden, enjoying the camaraderie, and seeing some fine shots, through regulation play and then again in the playoff too.
And there is nothing, and before you get to the playoff and talk about what happened, there is nothing quite like hearing a roar around the golf course. And you heard that on 15. I mean, I'm playing Saturday afternoon, and I started on 10, so I got through 15 probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock. I mean, we were out there till 7, 6:30, 7 o'clock. And, I mean, all in the afternoon, I'm on the front nine. I'm away from that part of the golf course. I hear roar after roar. I'm like, this is phenomenal. Yeah. And that was for amateur golfers. I mean, and then the crowd, of course, picked it up for your marquee golfers. It's you know what? That's the kind of stuff that gets the fans jacked up. But also it has to get the golfers jacked up, too.
It really does get the golfers jacked up. And, it probably intimidates a lot of players when they are coming up that hole, and knowing that if they do hit it over the green and have an impossible pitch, you have to do it in front of a couple hundred people, and the fear of failure is in a lot of people's minds. But it's something that, they're all lined up to play this tournament every year. They're in there for the same reason, whether they're a 15 or 18 handicap or they're one of the top pros. They want to compete and they want to win their division. And that's the adrenaline they love pumping through their veins, and it's going to come more and more when you get more people around. And, I've played in front of a few fairly big crowds, and it's an unreal experience. It's sometimes hard to contain your emotions, and you hit the shots you just don't want to imagine hitting. And then when you do hit some shots in front of the people that are just amazing shots, it's just such a rewarding feeling. And hearing those roars and cheers when a chip goes in or you pull off an amazing shot, it's fantastic.
Well, I've been on ice surfaces at hockey games talking in front of thousands of people with hockey players, and I mean, this is only a couple hundred people, but on Saturday I 3-jagged. I mean, I was only about 30 feet away, and I don't 3-putt a whole lot, and I 3-putt on that. And I tell you right now, it was nerves. It was like I hit a really nice, good first putt, but I blew it right through the break, and I had 10 feet come back, missed it. On Sunday, you come back in, and I stuff it to 8 feet with a birdie putt. But because of where the pin was, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, they put that pin, you guys put that pin right up in the back corner. I didn't get it all the way up there, and it rolled back to about 30 feet. So I made my 2-putt for par, but I felt so much, I guess validation the second day going through with the crowd giving you a nice hand. The 3-putt, they didn't give me anything. They gave me a boo, and that was always fun. But I mean, it's a good, there was never a malicious boo there. It was always, hey, don't 3-putt. We're drinking beer here. Give it, entertain us, right? So now, speaking of entertainment, it goes on the final day. Now, Bryn had a great opening round. Adam had to come back, and it gets down. And again, you had Brad Clapp there. You had a number of guys that were in the hunt. What happened at the end? Fill our listeners in.
Well, the start of it. Adam made a nice little charge right away. Birdie 1, birdie 2, bogey 3, birdie 4. 2 under on the front. Then he birdied, I believe, 11. So he got to 3 under there. That got him to 5 under. He joined a few other guys, Oliver Tubb and Sean Harlington. They were at 6 under. And Bryn bogeyed the first hole. He came around the front 9 at even. So he was 8 under through the front. So it got a little bit closer. Clapp and Luke Bogdan, both the local pros from Chilliwack, didn't have their best days. They started to fall back on the front 9. I think Brad was maybe 2 over on the front. Luke was about 5 or 6 over on the front. And so they were kind of out of the running. So it was basically down to Adam making a bit of a charge. And then you had Sean Harlington at 6 and Oliver at 6 kind of hanging in there. Oliver fell back a little bit. Sean kept at about 6 until 17 where he made bogey. And Adam continued to make a few more birdies. He birdied 15. He drove it up beside the green in 2 and chipped it up to about a foot, tapped it in. That got him to 6 under. And then he parred 16, 17, and then hit a brilliant shot into 18 to probably 2 feet.
Wow.
Tapped that in for his birdie. He posted a 7 under, so you're looking at Bryn coming up to 14. He bogeys 14 to go back to 7 under. Then he quickly hits 2 great shots into the short one on 15, makes birdie there back to 8. Meanwhile, Adam and everyone else is at 6. So he has a 2-shot lead, really, going into the last 3. And he pars 16. He bogeys 17. Now he's coming down 18, basically tied with Adam with the toughest hole in the golf course to hit him.
Yeah.
And he didn't hit a super great drive, and he hit it left of the green on 18. And he basically had to hit a miraculous up and down from left of the green to just get in a playoff. And all of a sudden, it looked like it might have been Adam's tournament. He hits a remarkable flop shot up there and hits about a 5 or 6 footer, makes the get into a 4-hole playoff.
Nice. So you go to the 4-hole playoff, you play, and you start at 15 where the crowd's still there, and you play 15, 16, 17, 18, and it comes down to 18, and what happens?
Well, it was sudden death. So if it
was sudden death. It wasn't a 4-hole.
Would have been a win, but it happened to tie. So they went down 15 as the first hole, and Bryn drew the first draw, so he teed off first, laid up again. Adam took the 3-wood out and went for the green and had a great shot, just short of the pin and chipping under the hole. Bryn hit it to about 4 feet so he's above the hole with a 4-footer. Adam hits this unbelievable little check spin shot. It almost goes in, lips out, and all the crowd's thinking it's over. He taps in, and Bryn makes his 4-footer, so they tie. They go down 16. Bryn has about a 40-footer, taps in for his par. Adam's got a 12-footer. He rolls it about 4 or 5 feet by, makes it coming back. They go to 17, and Bryn hits it in the bunker, has to make an unbelievable up and down. He does. Adam has a 25-footer, 2-putt. And then they both missed the green on 18. Adam was a little bit blocked by the tree on the right, and Bryn had this amazing hook shot around the tree. Bryn chips it down to 2 feet first. Adam's pitch was a lot more difficult, and he hits it to about maybe 7 feet. He misses, and then Bryn makes his 2-footer for the win.
Wow. So Bryn Parry wins his 5th Chilliwack Open, and Bryn's been on one heck of a roll. I mean, he's now in the RBC Canadian Open. I mean, he's had a great run, hasn't he?
Great year for him. Other than sort of being overshadowed by what Nick Taylor did in our major series, Bryn was the number 2 guy as far as how many under per hole. Nick was an unbelievable, 66.2 stroke average for those 6 events, and Bryn was at about 68.1.
Wow.
I mean, that's phenomenal. Bryn's never been that low. So it kind of got overshadowed by Nick's play, and then he comes in and he heads away to the Canadian PGA Championship, and he wins the field there at 64-player field in a match play. They played 6 rounds in a matter of 4 days, plus practice rounds. And you know what? He has just done an amazing job of rededicating himself and committing himself to the game by virtue of looking at his weakness. He sees that he's just not as fit as some of these young guys, not as strong. He went on this amazing workout program right from, I think it was September, October. For the last 8 months, he's lost about 20, 25 pounds. He's running, he's cycling. Every time I ask him, wow, you must have been tired after that. He says, I could have ran 10 more Ks.
Wow.
I'm in so much better shape. And I would not have won that PGA Championship if I hadn't done my workout routine the last 8 months.
He's leaner and meaner, which is
leaner,
you know what?
He's really looking forward to going and playing the Canadian Open. Yeah.
I can't wait because, again, he talked about this, and I read a great column by Brad Zemer last week. And if you guys want to go in and check out, Brad Zemer stuff for the Vancouver Sun, just go and look it up, and you'll find a great article on Bryn by Brad. And he talked about the fact that this will be the first real time that he's gone in and played a tournament at the Canadian Open where he's actually been healthy or he hasn't been sick or whatever the case might be, and he's really excited about it.
Yeah, I think his being healthier, being fitter, hitting it a little bit longer, but I think just the endurance factor, feeling like he's not going to get tired throughout the year. He's got a big schedule. He plays a lot of tournament golf, and he still teaches a lot.
Yeah.
So this guy is doing everything to try and advance his game while he's coaching full time and providing for his kids and family, and now he's traveling again for the Canadian. It's going to be a tough one, and that's why he's done it. He wants to play professional golf full time, whether it's the European Tour or the PGA Tour. And if he can get through any of those major qualifying schools and get a card, he will play. He's not going to do it at a smaller level. He just he can't afford to do that when you have a family and mortgage and all that. But if he gets a card for the European Tour, he's going to go play there for sure.
Last couple minutes here, Fraser. Fraser Mulholland, my guest, the commissioner of the Vancouver Golf Tour, talking about local golf. And the best part about this tournament was that amateurs are involved as well, including me. And
absolutely.
I was happy to be there. And you know what? When I encourage anybody that is a recreational golfer, and I am a recreational golfer. My cap right now is as low as it's been. It's 7.3 after what happened on the weekend. I'm quite happy with that. But there are days that you still have tough days out there. I had a really tough day on Saturday.
But on the good note to all the listeners, never give up, and this is a great lesson. one and what you shoot in round one, come back, don't withdraw, don't give up, play second day, show that you can do it, and congratulations to you for doing that. You were 16 shots better day two, which was unbelievable. That's awesome.
Yeah, 95 on day one. I couldn't hit water if I was in a boat. You know, I mean, it was just terrible. I was hitting everything left and thinking about on the drive back into Poco about what I was doing, and I figured it out from talking to you a little bit and working things out. And I went out and I shot 79 the next day, which included going 3-3-3 to finish on 7, 8, and 9, which are not easy holes at all. And I was very happy with how I finished. And I didn't make a big dent up the leaderboard, but you know what? I felt a lot better, and that's the thing, Fraser. You talk about this all the time about progression, and I've seen a lot of progression in my game, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that, like you said, you can't just fold tent when you have a problem. You got to work through it from a golf point of view. Otherwise, you're just going to repeat the same mistake over and over again.
No, exactly, and you know you're going to keep wanting to play tournaments this year and next year, and those experiences, if you give up and just post another 90-something the next day, that's going to influence you the next tournaments you play, and you just got to get back on your horse and forget about what's happened and move forward and work on positive things that you might have had happen on day one, and reflect on them and see what was it I did wrong, and just let's get that better and move on.
Well, always love the conversation. Great insight on the local golf scene. Look forward to talking to you again in the next week or so, Fraser, and we'll talk PGA next time as we get ready for the British Open. Maybe we'll have you on next week. We'll do a little British Open preview. Does that work for you?
Absolutely. Can we mention a quick congrats to Nick Taylor on the PGA Tour Canada, tied for second. He was leading all the way up to the last maybe half a dozen holes. Didn't quite pull it off, but he's going to one of these days. He's a phenomenal player. So congrats, Nick Taylor, out in Saskatchewan at the Dakota Dunes Open.
A phenomenal result for him as well, and a VGT alumni. So again, Fraser, always a pleasure to talk to you. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks a lot, Dave. Appreciate it.
That is Fraser Mulholland, the commissioner of the Vancouver Golf Tour. We'll take a break and come back with more sports talk after this. I'm Dave Sheldon on the Chorus Radio Network. Welcome back to Sports Talk. It's Dave Sheldon here on a Monday night. We're talking golf. We just had Fraser Mulholland on, the commissioner of the Vancouver Golf Tour, joining us on the phone line from Kelowna. He just finished the tournament up there. It's Bryn Parry, the champion of the Chilliwack Open. First of all, Bryn, hey, congratulations on the win yesterday, but also it's been a pretty good summer for you so far, hasn't it?
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, it's been an absolute blast. Golf is treating me well, and I'm having a fantastic time.
Okay, so I need you to walk me through the last couple of weeks. You went back east and you competed in the PGA of Canada event there. Can you tell us more about it? It was a match play event, and you did quite well, didn't you?
Yeah, the top 64 players in the PGA of Canada got invited to play a really brilliant golf course called Magna in Aurora, Ontario. And it was a 64-man field, so we had 6 matches to win to get through the final. And interesting start for me. This was the third year we played that tournament. The first year we played, I played a guy called Jeff Chambers from Saskatchewan, and I was the 1 seed, and he was the 64 seed, and he beat me. And that went over very well, and the Premier of Saskatchewan called him to congratulate him. And we got paired again this year in our rematch. So he posted a couple nice comments about me and my ball striking and how well I've been playing, and I thanked him as a gentleman and told him that I was really looking forward to the rematch. And I had a good day that day. I got off to a good start, and I beat him 5-4 and was kind of on my way, and had a very nice match in the third round. I made 7 birdies in a row, which is something I've never done before, and shot 29 on the front 9 and won a match 7-5, and just kind of plugged my way nicely into the final. And the last was actually there was a lot on the line. Brian McCann, a good friend of mine and number 1 player in Canada, was in a good spot to get an invite to the Canadian Open in a couple weeks, and I needed to beat him and then finish 2 spots ahead of him in the tournament overall to get enough points to leapfrog him and get the invite into the Canadian Open. And in the morning match, I beat him 4-2, and then in the afternoon match, I managed to play well again, and I beat Billy Walsh 2-1, and got out of there with a fantastic trophy with George Knudsen's name on it, and Arnold Palmer's name on it, and Mo Norman's name on it, and then surprisingly my name on it.
Do you get goosebumps? I mean, that's got to be a goosebump moment for you, hey?
Oh, it's completely surreal. A couple of my TaylorMade buddies caddied for me. They took turns, and we sat there afterwards for 10 minutes holding this trophy, reading through the names, and it's absolutely surreal.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So I mean, you know what? I've known you for years, and we buddy around when I'm over at Seymour Creek, and you always say hi to me, and you always spend time talking to me, and I just, you know what? When you and we all have this in our lives. We have our friends do well at whatever they do. You can't help but get excited about the moment and about what's coming forward for you with the RBC Canadian Open. We'll talk about the Chilliwack Open in a second. I spent a lot of time with Fraser on that last segment, but for you to go to the RBC Canadian Open this year, I believe it's your third time there, if I'm correct. But this time, you feel like you might be in the best possible situation to succeed, correct?
Yeah, the scenarios aren't comparable. The first time actually wasn't Canadian Open. It was the Air Canada Championship in Vancouver,
okay.
and I won a tournament. I got an invite for the following year, which was great. You know, I knew it was coming, and I got a chance to prepare, but completely over my head. You know, I was thrilled to drive the car into the valet and have somebody park it for me. You know, everything after that was just icing on the cake. And then when I was on the nationwide tour in 2007, I got an invite to Angus Glen in the middle of summer, and was playing nicely and kind of happy with where my game was at. And I got a virus. I got very, very sick, and wasn't able to compete at all. I didn't get a practice round, and I spent the week in basically the medical trailer. The highlight of the week for me, to tell you the truth, was walking the golf course and spending a hole with Corey Pavin and spending a hole with Vijay Singh and spending a hole with Camilo Villegas and just watching guys play, because I couldn't really do anything myself. And Jim Nelford was standing on the range with me on the Thursday morning, and just, are you going to be able to play? Are you healthy enough? And the way that it went is they'd lined up all the Canadians to play one after the other. And when I got on the first tee, I wasn't nervous that I was going to hit a bad shot. I wasn't nervous that I was going to hit a person with the golf ball. I was still so sick. I was nervous that the club would come out of my hand. And so I kind of grounded around and, didn't play very well and took in what I could take in. And then this year I'm thinking it's going to be really different. I've got my feet under me and I've been playing well, and, I get a chance to prepare. I played with Ray Stewart on Saturday, and he gave me some tips on how to play Glen Abbey and, how some of the holes work out for strategy. So much better place this time around. Very, very excited for this opportunity.
And Bryn, Fraser made the point of saying that your fitness has never been better, and it's been a key to your success. Can you expand on that for us?
Well, when I took a group of guys to Ireland last October, and we played 7 rounds in 7 days, and we played the Canada Cup in August, and I was noticing that as I was playing multiple days, my ball striking, it wouldn't really get bad or poor, but it would get worse than what I was looking for. So I made a conscious decision. I want to be competitive with the young bucks, Nick Taylor, Adam Padwin locally, and see if I can continue to move on and play well in tournament golf. And I started running and working with Kendall on his med ball stuff, and just getting movement patterns better and getting fitter and getting stronger and more flexible. And it has paid off in droves. I've never felt better on the golf course, and I'm playing very, very well this year.
Fraser spoke also about the Chilliwack Open. I was there over the weekend, and we didn't get a chance to touch base because you were busy doing your thing and I was busy doing mine. But you tied the competitive, or did you tie, or you set the new course record there on Saturday?
I think I tied it.
I think you tied it. I think it was 63, right? So, and
right.
Now, I mean, I played the golf course on Saturday, and I had a tougher spot on Saturday. I actually played better on the Sunday, but the course was in great shape, and you took full advantage of it.
Yeah, it set up well. I got the ball in the fairway, and I'd been hitting the ball very, very close to the hole in Toronto, and that theme kind of continued. And then my putter got hot, and I added this up afterwards. I had 10 putts on the back 9, and I had 2 putts at 18. So I had 8 consecutive 1 putts on the back 9, and got it around in 6 under par, which on that course is 28. And that's a fun number to write down.
Yeah, no kidding. Bryn Parry, my guest. Last couple of moments here, Bryn, before I let you go. You go to a playoff with Adam Hadwin after a great first day. You had to hit a great up and down to get to the playoff, and then you get into a playoff situation. You come out with the victory, but, I mean, Adam's been playing such great golf this year. Well, he's playing better golf this year. It had to be fun playing against him and other great pros that have been throughout Lower Mainland this year.
It was a real treat. The pace of play yesterday afternoon was a little slow because the course was very, very difficult and the wind was up. And Adam and I got out there, and he took 3-wood at the 15th green, which is the drivable par 4, and and chipped it to a couple inches, and I hit a wedge in close and made the putt, and we kind of just got on this quick, 1-2 punch pace of play with a bunch of people watching, and had a good time and played through 4 holes, and I got lucky. He made a little mistake, a chip shot, and he couldn't recover with the putt, and I got away with the victory there. And Adam and I are good friends. We've played together for a few years now, and he's very supportive of me when he sees me and when I do well, and I'm the same with him. And couldn't wish somebody more luck and more success this year than Adam. And I'm looking forward to going and playing with him and against him in a couple of weeks at Glen Abbey.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it. I'm looking forward to it. Have a great tournament. We'll talk to you again when you get back. And congratulations on winning your 5th Chilliwack Open and also winning the national championship there, so you get the RBC Canadian Open. Congratulations, Bryn.
Thanks very much, Dave.
That's Bryn Parry. We'll take a break. This is Sports Talk on the Chorus Radio Network.